ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरुन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषु भिज्यस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 15, verse number 43. Sri Sukadeva Goswami is describing Lord Krishna's return to Vraja from the forest at the end of the day. So we read in the previous two slokas Krishna Kamalapatraksha Punya Shravan Kirtana, that he with his beautiful eyes, lotus-like eyes, singing or playing on the flute, he entered while being praised by his friends, and then the gopis came out to see him. And in this sloka we read that Pitva Mukunda Mukhasaragha Makshi Bringai Stapam Jahur Virahajam Vrajayoshitoni Tat Satkritim Samadhigamya Vivesha Goshtam Sabrida Hasa Viniyam Yadapanga Moksham. So they drank the nectarian honey from the lotus face of Mukunda with the bees like eyes, and in this way they gave up the suffering of separation in the daytime, and then they honored him with their smile accompanied with shyness and humility, and looking at him with side glances. And Krishna, who understood this, in this way he entered the Goshta. So this is what we were reading, and we read part of the commentary. So we left at where they was talking about Atra satkara samadhigam kriyayoho kramena savrida ityadi visheshna dvayam. So he says that there are two activities that they looked at him with savrida hasa vinaya, that smiling face and humility, and Krishna accepted this honor and understood. So he says that these two activities of honoring Krishna and Krishna understanding that they are honoring me, so they have two adjectives or two adverbs. One is the savrida hasa vinayam, another is yadapanga moksham. So the adverb which qualifies the verb, generally it talks about the characteristic of the verb. Like you walk and then you say walk, he is walking quickly. So quickly is an adverb. So generally you will see adverbs are something like doing something expertly, not doing something expertly, or fast or slow. This is how you qualify a verb. So it's little difficult to see how these are the adjectives, but you can see that savrida hasa vinaya means they are honoring, and honoring is an activity. So that honoring is with smile, smilingly honor, something like that. Like you say, slowly doing, slowly walking, quickly walking. So smilingly honor means honoring is qualified by this. So that means the act of honor is having this as an adjective. And then apanga moksha applies both ways. It is they who are looking with side glance. So looking side glancely, that's the way it has to be. And then Krishna also responded with side glance, as he will explain it. So he says these are the two adverbs here. And adverbs take the karma. So kriya visheshanam karma tacha sadaiva ekvachanam. So kriya visheshan is always a karma, and it is always in singular case. So he says that tena cha vridaya sahito haso viniyascha. So he says that this smile is along with shyness and also humility. Yatra tad yatha syat tatha tasam satkriti. So their honoring is in this way. Means honoring is accompanied by these vridaya has and vinaya. Smiling, coyly smiling, you can say. So coyly smiling and humbly smiling, or modestly smiling, vinaya. Yatah prapnuvatah apangasya moksho yatra tad yatha syat tatha samadhigam. And then Krishna, he receives this honor. And after receiving, then he is responding with apanga moksha. So he understood, or rather he understood while giving a side glance. And in this way he entered Goshtam Viveshatyartha. So he speaks little more on this. Tabhi krita savrid hasa vinaya tadrisha avaloka rupa satkriti. So what they did, that they did satkriti. Satkriti means respect. How was the respect? Respect was in the form of looking at him. Tadrisha avaloka rupa. And how was this looking? This looking was with smiling and modesty. Modesty was there and they were smiling. And tasyascha adhigama Krishnena. And Krishna, he understood this satkriti, this honoring. Tat prapnuvad apang moksha sahita krita iti phalitam. And then he received it with an apanga moksha or side glance. This is the result of this explanation. Atra sampurna netrabhyam darsane tasam lajjaya sadhya vimukhi bhavasyat. So first they were looking at him with complete eyes, not through the side. But then this was covered by the shyness. So therefore it was vimukhi bhava. Vimukhi bhava means that they, instead of looking directly, then they turn their face to the side. Because you cannot give a side glance and have your face directly. So this is the vimukhi bhava. Atas tat kataksha prapti artham eva krishnena apanga moksha iti jyam. So he says that only to attain Krishna's side glance they did this, and therefore Krishna also did apanga moksha or side glance. Athaitad vivranam tabhi pratyekam swanayan anjana autsukyam sancharina svaparijanena aniya avlokana kusuma samarpita. So now he says that this is how it is to be explained. That each one of them, what they did was that they called the autsukya or eagerness, which is like a sanchari bhav, sancharina, to, and this is their parijan, their relative. So through that autsukya, they offered the flower of avalokan or looking. And swanayan anjanau autsukyam. So this autsukya, where was the autsukya or eagerness? This was in their eyes or inside the, what you call, the anjan of their eyes. What is anjana called? Mascara? So swaparijanena aniya avlokan kusum samarpitam. So then they offered the flower to Krishna. Tatheva swa adhar pallava anjalau harsa sancharina swaparijanena aniya arpitam has kusmam cha grihitva. So now because they are giving the flower to Krishna, he also has to accept it. So how did he accept? So he accepted in the palms of his lips. Swadhar Pallava Anjalau. And how did he accept? He accepted through the sanchari of Harsha. So they sent their messenger of Autsukya. Autsukya is the messenger of the gopis who is bringing the flower of their glance. And the Autsukya is in the eyes. So their taking the help of their eagerness in the eyes, which is compared like a messenger. Lady messenger is called Duti, to carry the flower to Krishna. And Krishna has his person, and that is harsha, happiness, joy. So the joy is used by Krishna to accept the flower into his palms in the form of his two lips, Adharpalla, or rather lower only, say the Adharpalla, no, both. So Haskusmam cha grihitva etada vastu dvayam eva asmad grihe tatra bhavate deyam etavadeva vastu asti tad kripya grihiyatam. So the gopis said that only this etad vastu dvayam eva asmad grihe, that in our house we only have these two things to give you, the flowers and the Atsukya, who is bringing the flower. So we are offering this to you. We don't have anything else to give you. This is the only thing we have to give you. So you please kindly accept this. Yadeva darshitam tadeva tad upayanam anetum Krishnena swaprasya apango anvyujyate. So when they showed this thing to them, to Krishna, that this is what we want to give, then to bring that gift, Krishna employed his apanga, his side glance. Swaprasya apango anvyujyata. Such a mahachapala purvameva tad dvayam tasam antargriha gatam api choretu mudyata. But this apanga, the side glance of Krishna, he is very fickle. He was already ready to steal it from the house even before they were giving it. So he says, Tasam antargriha gatam api choretu mudyata. Although these two things they were keeping inside their house, but he wanted to steal it. Atah Krishnena badhva eva sthapita asit. Therefore Krishna has kept him under custody and bound. So he did not want to release him, because otherwise he will run and steal this. So tabhis tasmin upayan dvaye prakatikritya ditsite sati saiva bandhan mochita. So now when the gopis they expressed their wish to give these two gifts to Krishna, they showed it to him and they desired ditsa, means they wished to give it. Then he released his apanga, his side glance, that okay, now you can go and get it. So then he immediately ran. So there are two readings. One book says Sharaiva Sigram Gatva, like a arrow he shot, or Shuraiva, like a big hero he went. So whichever. So Sharaiva Sigram Gatva tad yadaiva grihitum arabta tatakshanaiva tasham koshadhikarinya sakhya vridya pradurbhuya tadupayana dvayam avaritum pravavriti. So as he suddenly went there to get this and he was ready to take this, then what happened that the gopis, they have their treasurer, they in charge of their treasury, and that is shyness. So then shyness immediately appeared there and started covering that, no, what are you doing? Because that's what a treasurer does, keeps the money in the safe. So now they opened the safe and this guy is coming immediately to take it, and he sees immediately trying to close it. So avaritum pravivrite. So that's why it was said that savrida hasa vinayascha. Tatascha tayor vigrahe pravritte. So then there was a fight between this vrida, lajja, shyness, and apanga moksha. The Krishna who has released his hero or his arrow, whichever you. Sometimes the eyes are compared like the bow and the glance is compared like an arrow. So then it is Sharaiva, or because he is fighting, so he is a hero also. So I don't know which original reading was Shara or Shura, but both fit. So now there is a fight between Krishna's side glance and Gopi's Hasa and Vinaya. Now this shyness who was trying to cover the Hasa and Vinaya, the smile and humility. So big fight started. He wants to take and they says no, you cannot take. She says no. Sandhi artham vinaye cha tasam parijane samayate. So then the Vinaya came to make a truce between them. Because first it was Savrida Has and then Vinaya is coming to make the truce. Such a Balwan Krishna Presya Apango Vrida Vinayabhyam Sahitam Eva Sahasa Avalokanam Upayanam Akrishya Aniya Krishnaya Pradat. So now in between the fight, this Apanga, the Krishna's hero, he was more powerful. So he won over the treasurer and defeated that. And therefore he took the Vrida and Vinaya, the shyness and humility, along with the Has, the smile. So smile accompanied by shyness and humility, and that is the avalokana, that is the glance of the gopis. So he brought this as a gift by force, akrishya, and offered it to Krishna. Krishnaya Pradat. Sacha tatrikam ati durlabha maharatnam iva prapya swahridaya mandir abhyantara eva sthapyamasa. So Krishna, he got these 3 jewels which are very rare, and therefore he established them inside the cave of his heart. So iti katha satkar vyanjita uplabdha. So he says this explanation which I have given, it all comes from the word satkriti in this sloka. So all this meaning he derives from the word tat satkritim samadhigamya. Vrida dinam sarvesham eva cha vyanjakatvepi satkar mokshayor vyanjakatva atishayat. So he says that although the words vrida, shyness, has, smile, vinaya, humility, they also imply some meaning, but this satkar means honoring Krishna, and apanga moksha, this releasing side glance, because it's not said that he just saw with the apanga. He says apanga moksha. Moksha means releasing, means he shot it. So he says these are vyanjakatva atishayat kathayam. So he says this whole understanding comes more clear with these words together. So this is the end of this Vyanjana vritti or indirect sense. Now he comes to the normal sense of the sloka as it is. Siyadva vrajayoshito anhi tapam jahu. Or alternatively, the women of Vraja, they gave up their suffering which they have felt during the daytime. Kasta Vrajayoshita, who are these Vraja damsels? So he says, Yasam apang moksham tattam prasiddham satkritim satkaram samadhigamya goshtham vivesha. So here in this meaning he is taking the apanga moksha or throwing off the side glance of the gopis and not of Krishna. So he says their apanga moksha, their side glance and their famous honor, Satkriti, Krishna understood that. In this way he entered into the Kaushad, Goshtam Vivesha. Kidrisham Sabrida Hasa Vinayam. So what kind of apanga moksha was this? It says that which was accompanied by smile along with shyness and humility. Atra yat padasya uttar vakya gatatvat na tatpadapeksha. So it says here yad has come in the second half of the sentence. And therefore it doesn't need tat. Otherwise yat and tat have yat tato nitya sambandha. Tayor yashoda rohinyau putrayoho putravatsale yatha kamam yatha kalam vedhattam paramashishaha. So now when they came home, then Yashoda and Rohini, the two mothers who are Putra Vatsala, who have great affection for their sons, so they did whatever was necessary at that time. Yatha kalam yatha kamam vedhattam paramashisha. So various types of food, clothes, whatever was necessary in that time, what was needed, they arranged all that. So yatha kamam putrayor vanchitam bhakshadikam. So yatha kamam, as desired, means whatever their sons wanted to eat, so they supplied that. And anatikramya yatha kalam, and whatever was necessary according to the time, that was pradosh kal, the evening time. Bhojan kalam anatikramya paramashisho bhaksha paridhayadi bhogan. So according to the appropriate time, the appropriate food and dresses were given to them by the mothers. Gatadhvana shramau tatra majjanonmardanadibhi nibimbasitva ruchiram divya shragandha mandito. So they then took bath, majjana, and unmardanadibhi, massage, bodily massage, and in this way they became free from their fatigue. So gata adhvana ashrama, the fatigue because of wandering in the forest, so they became free from that after taking bath, cleaning themselves, massaging, and then they gave them nice dress to put on and also nice garland and perfumes, and in this way they decorated them. So nashramo ashrama. So this word gata adhvana srama can be seen in two ways. One is simple, gata adhvana srama. Srama means fatigue, adhvan means path, from the path, and gata means free. But he gives a different way of seeing it. He says nashrama ashrama, that not getting tired is called ashrama, and then na ashrama is anashrama. Not getting not tired is anashrama, and Adhva and Gat Adhva Anashrama. Sacha Ishwaratvat Narlilaya Tasya Bhava. So as Ishvara he does not get tired, but as Nara, as human child, he got tired. So therefore it is Anashrama, means that he was not tired, means he was tired.
Adhva and Advan is same?
एक ही बात. So tasya bhavastva anashrama. Gato adhvano anashrama saiva yayo tau. So they became free from their fatigue. Nivi paridhan vastram. So nivi means the dress. Generally nivi is used for the lower dress, but here it seems to be complete dress. Janani upuritam prasya swadvannam uplalitau samvishya varshayayam sukham sushupatur vraje. So the mother brought nice food for them, and after eating that tasty food, swadvannam, and being treated very affectionately, uplalita. You know this word lala? You hear here in Braj. Lala you call a small boy is called lala and small girl is called lali. So it comes from lala dhatu. So lalan means like to deal with in a very affectionate manner. So uplalita means they were treated very affectionately, very lovingly by the two mothers and fed. And then they went on their beds. Samvishya varshayayam sukham susapatur vraje. And happily they slept in the vraja. So this is the Leela of Krishna, the day Leela, going to the forest, playing there, coming back, eating, and then sleeping. Evam sa Bhagavan Krishno Vrindavan charah kvachit yayo ramamrite rajan kalindim sakhi bhirvritaha. So now he wants to refer to the second pastime, and that is the pastime of subduing Kaliya snake. So this chapter, first we saw his play in the forest and killing of Dhenukasura, coming back, and now the story of Kaliya is explained. It will come in the next chapter also, but it starts here. So in this way, Bhagavan Krishna was wandering in Vrindavan or enjoying his stay here in Vrindavan, Vrindavan Chara Kvachit. So one day he went to Vrindavan, means he went to the forest without Balaram. So when he went for Aghasura, then also no Balaram. Now he comes to Kaliya snake, no Balaram. So whenever there is snake Leela, Balaram is not there. So Balaram does not want to see snakes to be killed, so he doesn't go. So Kalindim Sakhi Bhirvrita. So they came to the river Yamuna. Krishna came there, being surrounded by his friends. And then something happened. Evam Kartika Gopashtami Din Leelam Samapya Tadvarshya Nidhag Gatasya Kasyachit Dinasya Leelamaha Evam. So in this way, This was described in the Leela, the pastime of Krishna on Gopastami day, the day he started tending the cows. It comes in the month of Kartik. So after completing the description of that, now Sukadeva Goswami is describing a Leela of Krishna in the same year, means it is still the same year, but in the summer time, means after a few months, because Kartik and then winter comes and then spring and then so sometime later, maybe after 6 months or so.
So this Dhenuka Suklila took place on the Gopashtami day. This is what he was to say.
That's what he seems to say. So kasyachit dinasya leela maha evam iti. So Ramam rite, so without Ram, why Balram did not go there? He said Janmarksha Shantika Snanartham Matribhyam Tasya Taddine Grahe Eva Upaveshitatvat. So it was again Balram's birthday. So that means that's Shravan Purnima. So that is summer time. So Aghasura was also killed on his birthday. And now again his birthday has come. So the mothers had kept him at home. Probably he was also happy, not at least having one day off in the summer.
So this is ironical, Maharaj. On his birthday, snakes are being killed. He is Anant Shesh.
Well, there is other day they cannot be killed. So when are you going to kill?
So birthday is considered as auspicious. So
Yeah, but the other days you cannot kill. So when you can, other day is there. So at gavascha gopascha nidaghat atapa pidita dushtam jalam papustasya trisharta vishadushitam. So thereafter they came, the cows as well as cowherd boys, they were very much tormented by the hot sun. Because it is time when it also rains, and when the rain stops, the sun comes very strong. So nidagata atapa pidita. So they were very thirsty. In that heat you wander in the forest, you feel very thirsty. So they drank the polluted water of Yamuna, Vishadushitam. It was poisonous. So that's what happened. So Gavaiti Paschat Shanair Agachantam Krishnam Anapeksha Trishartatvat Drutgaminyah Tadanudrutah Kechan Gopas. So first the cows came, they were thirsty, so they came to the river and they drank. And then cowherd boys were following the cows, and Krishna was not with them. Shiva, he was behind. So they came, and the cows were moving fast. So the cowherd boys also moved fast, and they were very much thirsty. Trishartatvat. So that's why they were walking fast, because they want to drink the water. But now they drank the water and they collapsed. So Vishambhas tadupasprisya devopahata chetasaha nipeturvyasavah sarve salilante kurudvaha. So he says that they drank this water and the water was poisonous, Vishambha. So as soon as they touched the water in their mouth, then by the divine will, they fell down lifeless. right there at the bank of the river. Sarve Salilante Kurudva. All of them. So then Krishna came behind. Vikshatan vai tatha bhutan Krishna Yogeshwareshwaraha Ikshamrita Varshinya Swanathan Samajivayat. So then Krishna, he came from behind and he saw them that they lost their life. So Krishna, who is the Ishvara of the yoga, the master of the yoga, so he glanced on them and his glance is full of Amrita, immortal glance. So all these boys, they came back to life. The boys who were dependent on him, Swanathan. So Devo Bhatchetasa, what does this word mean? He comments on this. He said Devo Bhagwan. So Deva here means Bhagwan and Deva means that which belongs to him. Tasya idam Devam Lila Shakti Vaibhavam. So this is his potency of his Lila power, Lila Shakti. Tena upahat buddhaya. So their Chetasa, their consciousness was subdued by that. Because they are immortal people, they cannot die. So it is by his will, by his Lila Shakti that it became like that. Krishnena adbhut karmana iti vakshamanatvat. Later on it will be said that Krishna, who performs superhuman acts. So Vyasava iti lila swasthava artha yogmaya eva nityanam api tesham ashunachadya tatha darshanat. So when it is said that they died, so he says that it is not really that they died because they are eternal associates, there is no death. Na tatra jara, na mrityu, na shokam, na arti. It is described in Bhāgavatam that in Vaikuntha there is no old age, there is no death, there is no distress. So there is no death. But it is just for the beauty of the Leela, Krishna Leela, that Yogamaya made them appear like that, as if they have died. So then Krishna, he brings them back to life. Te sampratita smritayaha samuthaya jalantikat asan suvismita sarve vikshamana parasparam. So they came back to their life and then they remembered that what has happened. So they got up from the bank of the river and they remembered, and they were all very surprised while looking at each other that what actually happened. Why this thing happened in this way. So te jalantikat samuthaya suvismita iti. So they were all very surprised, very much astonished that what is this, we drank the water and we all fainted and now we came back to life. Mrita eva vayam kena jivita. We died, so who has brought us back to life? Kenapi ausadhena vishahara mantrena va. Is it that somebody gave us some medicine? Or somebody chanted a mantra to dispel the poison? So in this way they looked at each other. Kim tvam etad rahasyam janasi iti pratyeka prashnat. So they were asking that, do you know what really happened? How is that we came back from death? Evam mahasandehe pravartamane bho vayasyaha am maya eva etat karanam. So one of them said that, yes, my friends, I know the cause of our revival. And the cause is anena sarva durgani yuyam anjas tarishyatha iti gargacharya vachna smarnat samyag avagata. So Gargacharya, when he did the name giving ceremony for the two brothers Krishna and Balaram, and he named them one as Krishna, other as Balaram, then he gave some prediction also about them. So he has told that Varnahyasan Trayosya Grihanton Yugam, that he has taken before different births, right? Sukla Raktas Tathapita Idanim Krishna Tamgata. And then he said this, that this boy has qualities like Narayana Samaguni. And with the help of him, you will cross over all difficulties. All problems will be solved by him. So if you want to solve your problem, this is the solution. Not only for Brajvasis, but others also can understand it. If you hear that somebody knows some mantra to remove some disease of his family members, then others will also go to that person if they come to know that, please help us also. So Gargacharya said to all the Brajvasis that all your problems will be solved by this boy. So Yuyam Anjasa Tarishyati Sarva Durgani, all difficulties. So we can also take some clue from that if you want to easily cross over the problems, then take shelter of Krishna. That is the opinion of Gargacharya. So therefore this boy said that, I understand this is the reason that we are alive. Kena api ukte sati sarve samyak prakarena pratita pratiti vishayikrita smriti stadiya yais tatha bhuta asaniti. So in this way, everybody understood that this smriti has come. So he is commenting on this sampratita smritaya. So generally one would take that they died and now they came back to life, so they remembered what has happened. But Vishwanath Chakravarti says that this smriti, this remembrance is remembrance of Gargacharya's words. That's what he's saying. Sampratita smritaya.
In this commentary, what does the word am mean? Bhovayasya am maya eve. Am means
Yes.
Yes.
You never heard this? Am means yes.
This is a
Hmm?
Avin.
Yeah. So there is one more sloka in this chapter. So let's complete it. Anvamanshata tadarajan govindanugrahaikshitam pitva visham paretasya punarutthanam. So now Sukadeva Goswami says that, O king, in this way the boys, they understood that this is the gracious glance of Govinda, of Krishna, that we who have died after drinking poisonous water have come back to life. So that's what they understood, or they ascertained. अनु अनंतरम एकमत्येन व्रजराज इष्ट देव श्री नारायणेन आविष्टस्य गोविंदस्य अनुग्रहेक्षितमेव कारणम अवसित. So when they were talking like this, then discussing with each other, they all agreed that it is Narayana who is the Ishta Devata of Nanda Maharaj, and that Ishta Devata has entered into Krishna. Sometimes some devatas come, it's like sometimes ghost possesses a person. So devas also possess somebody, and then that person acquires the power of that devata. So the devata of Nanda Maharaj is Narayana. So Narayana has entered into Krishna, and then that Narayana has glanced upon us, and by his gracious glance we have come back to life. Otherwise we were dead. Yasmat pitva vishamityami. So Krishna has revived us. So iti sarartha darshinyam harshinyam bhakta chetasam dasme asmin panchadasa sangatam sangata satam. So in this way, the Sarartha Darshini commentary on the 5th chapter of 10th Canto, the commentary which gives bliss to the heart of the devotees and which has been written in the association of devotees, has been completed. This is the end of 15th chapter. And next we are going to read is Kaliya's story and the prayers of Nagapatanis, the wives of Kaliya. So snakes can also have wives, right? Not only human beings, snake also has wife, not wife but wives, and they can also speak in Sanskrit. They studied Harinamrit Vyakaran. Human beings don't want to learn Sanskrit. They say learning Sanskrit is so difficult. And here the snakes are going to recite prayers. And we are going to have tough time understanding their prayers. So the snakes are special. Long prayers of the Nagapatanis. Okay, any question?
Comment.
Okay, comment.
We have all drunk the poison. We have all been drinking the poison of material pleasure, sense enjoyment, and we're actually dead. But by the glance of Guru Bhagavan, we've all been brought back to life.
Okay. Okay, question for Satyam Prabhu.
Yeah, I just listened to see the question. How is the Yamuna water which is flowing and then this poison is already contained within some, like a lake or something? How is that possible? If you can give some explanation.
Yeah, this lake, Kaliya lake, sometimes the rivers have lakes, means the lake is joined to the river. So the water comes and the snake is inside the lake. So it is used here as Kalandi, as river, but it was a lake, as you know, Kaliyada.
But lake is connected to the river, so wouldn't that some poison will also go to the river and then all the aquatics which living in the river will also will die then?
Yeah, if it flows into the river. But maybe it is only the water coming from the river to the lake.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
The river is the feeder for the lake.
So this Kalia was residing in the
Bhagavatam.
Kalia Hrida, the lake which was connected to the river and which was partially separate from the river,
Yeah.
Yamuna. So where exactly is this Kalia Hrida? I mean, is it somewhere in Vrindavan or is it somewhere? There is one more Kalia Ghat, they say.
And it's supposed to be here in Vrindavan. Where else it is?
There is one other place, they say there is Kalia Ghat somewhere. I don't remember, the name somewhere.
Anyway, there can be two. What is the problem? It's better to have in one place and then spread around. Yes, Malati.
I have two questions. The first one is on verse 45. The term yata kalam. Could you explain what that implies?
Yathakalam means appropriate to the time.
And in this context, what would it
Means
imply?
whatever is food which is proper for evening time, like if you eat different food, breakfast you eat one type of food, lunch another. So that's what yathakal means.
Okay.
And the dress means evening dress, night dress. They are not going now outside. So more relaxed.
Okay. And the other question is, hypothetically, if somebody would argue that it's very selfish of Krishna to put these boys in such a precarious situation that they appear to be dead just to perform his lila and aggrandize himself. If somebody were to argue like that, what would we reply?
Okay, so if he is doing it, what is the problem?
Well, you could say that it's not very pleasant for these boys to drink, to have to do that. I mean, it's not so much fun to undergo this.
And what was the explanation? The explanation was that they did not really die. It was Yoga Maya who made them appear like that.
Yeah.
So,
But still, they faint, they fall down.
yeah, that's why I'm saying it is Yoga Maya who made them appear, not that they fainted.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what
But
would be
even
the
later,
what would be the difference?
I mean, it seems that so much suffering. Later on, all the Brajvasis, they cry and they are almost dead.
That is not coming here now. We are talking about this only. Nobody is crying now.
Just the whole lila itself. I'm just thinking if somebody would argue like that, what could we give as arguments against?
So what is the problem? That's what I'm asking. If he is giving this argument, I'm saying, okay, fine. What's your problem? What is his problem?
Someone hypothetically.
He's saying that Krishna is like narcissist, right? So I said, okay, fine.
Yes.
You have a problem with that? Go ahead. I have a problem. I don't have a problem. Why do I have to defend with such a person?
Krishna is the autocrat. Whatever he does is good.
He wants to find fault with Krishna, right? That he's doing it, so okay. Leave him alone. Go ahead, I'm not asking you to worship Krishna. If this is what you think, fine. Leave me alone. Go home. Be happy. You have someone to criticize, so you can criticize him, fine. He's giving you a chance to criticize.
He's fulfilling your desire.
Yeah,
Babaji?
he gives support to everybody. Yeah, he keeps everybody happy. So you like to be happy by criticizing him? Okay, fine. That's why he's doing it. So we are happy and you are happy. I don't have to fight with you and argue with you and try to make you a devotee. Go ahead, You are happy without Krishna, I am happy with Krishna. What's your problem? You are free not to believe that he is God and I am free to believe he is God. Simple. You don't have to always argue. Sometimes the way to defeat is not to say anything. And tell him, yes, he is like this, fine. Otherwise, unnecessarily we waste time with such people. I will not argue. I will say, fine. This is how you think. And I'm even surprised that you heard this story. From where did you hear it? And why did you hear the story? Why are you wasting time with such a person? Yes.
So my question was similar to Purushottam Prabhu's question. So, they were going every day to the forest, and all summer times they must have felt thirsty. So, why this specific day they drank this water? Like they must be drinking water otherwise every day also.
Yeah, but you are not drinking same place. Vrindavan is big. There are so many lakes and ponds. You have seen how many kundas are there in Vrindavan area, in Braj area. So,
Yes, lot of. But now they are all dry.
yeah, most of them.
So my next question was that this Gopashtami, Krishna killed this Dhenukas. So that is generally during November time, and then again Katya Dahan is around Shravan. So he's describing two different times.
Obviously, that's why it says, he said it.
Okay. Absolutely.
He said it that this was in Kartik. Actually, the killing of Dhenukasura is also not really on the same day. Because there also, you remember, he said that the air was coming from the east and this was rainy season. So it is not Gopashtami day. Remember, we read it.
Yes. Gopashtami, he went for this thing, raising the cow, and then I think after few shlokas he started describing this Dhenuka Suraman.
It was after Bhadona somewhere.
Yeah.
So aren't these two shlokas contradictory? The first and the last. First he says that this.
And this is not the sloka. This is commentator who is saying it. Sloka did not say anything about Gopashtami. Gopashtami idea is in the commentary.
So where did Śrīpad Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur get that idea from, that it happened on the Gopashtami? It is clearly mentioned in the beginning of the...
Because he started tending cows on Gopashtami day, that's the idea. That is said Gopashtami also earlier. When chapter 15 started, that's where he said it. If you see the commentary.
I would like to understand if Krishna and Balaram, did they live inside the same house or in different houses? I'm asking because the activities of their mothers, they were described as being the same or identical. So does it mean that they did everything together, just like brothers are together,
Yeah,
or did they have different houses?
no, they're together.
Okay, because also Rohini, she was also
Yeah,
protected
they're living
by
in
Nanda,
one
no?
house,
Okay.
common kitchen, eating together. It's not different house. Okay.
Babaji,
Yes.
this last verse that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes at the end of every chapter, why does he write the Sangata word twice in that? Sangata Satam.
Sangata Satam means in the association of Satam, and Sangata means Samyak Gata, means completed. So one is referring to the association, like Sangati, another is referring to completion.
On birthday, Balram was staying in home by his own will or by parents.
Parents.
For what reason?
To celebrate his birthday. That's what he said. To celebrate the birthday. Call a Brahmana, give some dakshina, chant mantras, do some yajna for griha shanti, for goodwill.
Balloons, birthday cake.
Yes, rasgulla.
Because normally on the birthday, parents giving freedom to that to the child that what they want, so that they can be more happy.
They do what?
Parents giving more freedom to child, so that they can.
Yeah, they are not binding him with a rope. Freedom means what?
Freedom means my point was like that because they are happy with their friends. But
Arey Baba, I'm saying that you have to do some. How do you celebrate birthday traditionally? You call a Brahman, he will do yajna, recite some mantras. So how are you going to do it if he goes with them? Or they should take the Brahmana also there.
But the same brother is going somewhere else, and then normally it's not happening in normal life.
No, you have not lived in village, therefore you are talking like this. When village is there and you live with cattle cannot be kept in home. They have to be fed. And you have so many cattle, not like you have few cows and you dalo bhusa and put some flour. They have to go for grazing. You have not lived in village. So when you're thinking like that. So somebody has to go with them.
Yeah, I seen mainly the elder person going to grazing, not the very small child. So.
Yeah. So you try to understand how people lived in the olden time, and you will understand this. Now because we are born in cities, we don't have that idea. How was the life previously? So I remember going, tending the bulls, and the type of thirst you get, because there is no water, I remember there used to be one well nearby. You go there, you drink a whole bucket. You just feel like drinking. Yeah, that kind of thirst. I can only remember it. I cannot feel it anymore. You just feel so thirsty. That's why I said that they ran and drank. Now you can make hypothetical question. How is it that they are running and how is it this? Because you don't feel thirsty like this. Now water is available everywhere. Then you are walking miles and miles and there is no water. And hot and you are sweating. You feel thirsty. And I remember this well, in the especially rainy season, because water is not used for, these wells are used for putting water to the field, that old style with the bulls. But in rainy season you don't need it. And the leaves Generally all these wells, they have trees around because the bulls are used, they're tied, so all the leaves fall inside the well and they rot inside the water.
Yes.
And that smell also I remember. It's like all these leaves are in the water, and you pull it out with a bucket and drink just like that. Now nobody will drink like this. Oh, I have to drink this water, but I remember drinking water like that.
Yeah, I have the same experience. I was also grazing, and then if
So that was different life. Okay.